7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Lynda
You are now tuned in to buttabrocka on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, buttabrocka. Listen, we have an amazing show for you. She is a singer and a songwriter. She has won Essence Festival's New and Next Artist. Can you guys please show some love for Miss Lynda Starr? How you doing, Lynda?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be interviewing a fellow singer, so this is really cool.
Thank you. And look at us.
Right.
Right.
Right. Not round. Cool. So I like to jump right on in. Can you give everybody a little bit of background about yourself, and then I'll get into all of my questions.
All right, sure. So, hey, world. My name is Lynda Starr. I'm a vocalist and songwriter from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. And for me, music is an expression of life. It's literally what I do on a daily. I eat, sleep, and breathe music. Literally, music flows through my veins. And it's what's carried me through literally all my trials and tribulations. And that's why I'm standing here today.
Okay. So you started at a young age singing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So I started singing since I was 3. And I've been writing music since I was 8 years old.
Our stories is kind of similar. That's really cool. That's
Oh,
really,
wow.
Yeah. You got me a year with the writing part, but singing wise and writing, this is kind of cool.
Oh, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Who inspired you as a kid?
So my inspirations, I would definitely say Mary J. Blige was like a big influence. I remember very, very young, I was watching Waiting to Exhale, and I just remember seeing this woman with sunglasses and like a headscarf, and I'm just like, what is she saying? But like whatever she was, I didn't know what she was saying at the time, but like I just felt it. I was just like, wow, like is she saying like something like really like meaningful? And then, as you get older, like I listened to, My Life, and I just fell in love with Mary. And literally like her soul like spoke to me, like all her pain, all of her joy, and then everything else in between just like inspired me. And just you heard so much in her voice, and just the soul and like the fabric of everything she's been through with every lyric that she was able to convey. Like that's what inspired me the most.
Okay. So did you come from a musical family, and that's how you got your
No,
start, or no? Okay.
no, I'm actually, I would say like the black sheep, the black sheep when it comes to music. My mom doesn't sing. My father, like no one in my family sings. But I grew up in the church, so as many singers, just singing gospel, singing in the different youth choirs. I've been in choirs all my life, so I was in a youth choir in church. In elementary school, I was in the school choir, all the way up till from middle school to high school, all the way up until college. I was in choirs, so that really helped me to develop like harmonization, vocal layering, vocal structures and development. And yeah, just I would definitely love to have a musical family one day, because I always looked up to the Winans, the Braxtons, even like outside of music, the Wayans brothers, and just how tight knit they were, and how they were always supportive of each other and were able to like lift each other up. like
Mm-hmm.
along the way in their careers.
Mm-hmm. Are you vocally trained? Did you take lessons and everything, or?
Absolutely. So yes, I am classically trained. I also studied piano in college, but I studied music theory. So my major was music. I double majored in music and media and society. So I learned about the Baroque era. Let's see, like medieval, all those things between. Let's see, like Mozart, Haydn, Handel, John Sebastian Bach, all those things. I did part writing.
Right.
So yeah, I'm definitely trained in that.
Okay. Which do you like more, singing or writing?
Ooh. Ah, you know what? I'm a singer first. First and foremost, I'm a singer first, and I also remember my vocal teacher, Meg Heaton, definitely told me that. And now Angela Calabrese, excuse me. Yeah, she was literally the one like just saying like no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you
Mm-hmm.
are a singer first. And it makes sense because like found out I could sing right before I started writing.
Mm-hmm.
But writing, it allows me to outpour like all my deepest, darkest secrets and emotions. And I just love writing, whether it's writing for myself,
Mm-hmm.
writing for other people, just having that relatability. And yeah, and just being able to be a storyteller is definitely important.
Okay. So what I want to do right now is I want to highlight one of your songs, Save Us, and then we're going to go into deep conversation because a lot of great things happen because of this song.
Yeah.
So without further ado, everybody, we're going to give you a little snippet. This is Save Us.
See, I've been ridiculed, lied to. Every day I'm petrified to know if I will be alive to see the rest of my life. Cause they took me in, those heartless men. My sister, my mother, they worrying. Hope and pray that I'll see your face again. But who's gonna save us? Who's gonna take us away from oppression and dismay? Who's gonna save us? Hear our cries and our shouts. Time is running out. Who's gonna save us? Who's gonna save us now? 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 Right now, I'm guarding my life from all this terror and strife. They tried to kidnap my soul. My faith, I'm not letting go. My heart is suffering. You make me feel like nothing. Oh, if I take my last breath tonight, my soul will live to win the fight. Who's gonna save us? Who's gonna take us away from oppression and dismay? Who's gonna save us? Hear our cries and our shouts. Time is running out. Who's gonna save us now? Who's gonna save us now? Who's gonna save us now? For the love of humanity.
Yeah.
All right. Who's gonna save us now? Yeah.
Thank
You jamming. I ain't gonna lie. I was listening to it earlier. I started putting on the whole little show, in the green room. Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, I love it. I love it. Great vibe to it.
Thank you.
So let's go over that song. A lot of amazing things have happened with that song. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about your creative process. How did you come up with the song, your title, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I originally wrote the song in 2014 when the girls in Nigeria were kidnapped by Boko Haram, which was the terrorist organization that was there. And it was all over the news about the girls and how, like, and I remember they were saying, like, I remember Michelle Obama had that sign that said, "Bring back our girls." And
Mhm.
it was just so devastating to me when I heard it on the news. And I remember one night I was sleeping and I literally just like woke up at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I just heard a woman's voice, and I just heard all these cries, all these shouts, and I literally had to grab like a pen and paper and just whatever she was saying, like I just wrote it down, and literally that's how the lyrics came about. And then, and especially in that beautiful myriad of when lyrics and melodies come together, I
Mhm.
was able to, come up with the melody for that. And originally, a lot of people don't know this. When I first wrote it, the hook was, "Why don't you save us?"
Mm.
But I did a songwriting. I did like a songwriting workshop,
Mhm.
and he helped me, like dig deeper as far as the song. And instead of saying, "Why don't you save us?" I was saying, like, who's gonna save us? So it
Mhm.
added a deeper layer of urgency. And I definitely believe that even though I wrote it, a couple years back, it's more relevant now than it was when I first recorded it and when I first released it in 2017. So I definitely had to do like an anniversary. So 2022 was the 5 year anniversary. So I wanted to commemorate that and give the song new life, new hope, and new meaning for new ears to be able to hear the music and to be moved by the words, and to hopefully spark some change and to inspire others.
You know what's really cool about that whole situation? You wrote it 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And you re-released it, which tells that it can be a timeless song, which already proves that it's a timeless song and it
Yeah.
has substance and everything. And when you re-released it, can you tell everybody what happened because you re-released this?
Yeah, so I would definitely say it was all divine timing. I did a YouTube premiere for the video on May 20th of last year.
Mhm.
And that same day, my friend, she sent me the link for Essence's new and next artist competition, and she's like, "Yeah, like definitely like submit it." And that same day was the last day, so like the last day to submit anything. So literally, like right after I put it on YouTube, I like shortened the video to like 3 minutes and like
Mhm.
submitted it. And I was just like, "Lord, like whatever your plan is for me, like I just submit to your will." And I just left it in his hands. And 2 days later, I got an email saying, "Congratulations, you've been selected as one of the finalists for Essence's new and next artist competition." So I was super ecstatic. I like gathered all my finances, tried to book something last minute because I
Right.
didn't know I was going to Essence Fest that for the whole year until that moment. So I was just like, "Oh man." But thankfully everything worked out, everything fell into place. I was able to get there safely. And July 2nd, that Saturday, July 2nd, the show was live streamed. Roxy, who you guys know from 106 in Park and Entertainment Tonight, she was an amazing host. And shout out to all the other finalists who did an amazing job. But thankfully, I was able to wow the judges, especially the brat. She resonated with Save Us the most, and I'm so grateful for that. And literally, it was an out of body experience. Like they when they literally said, "Who's gonna save us?" I like my heart dropped.
Right.
And it was definitely full circle because I was a freelancer for Essence Fest in 2013. So I remember being an usher, like doing all the different activities for like programming and stuff, and seeing other artists on the center stage and thinking, wow, like, all right, I'm gonna be there one day, don't worry, meeting all these different celebrities. And then lo and behold, almost a decade later, literally like being on that same stage. So it was definitely a blessing. I'm still taking it in, like months later. I'm still taking it all in. But I'll be performing. I'll be back at Essence Festival performing at the Super Lounge at the Superdome, July 30th, July 29th to July 3rd. So the tickets for Essence Fest has already been on sale now. So you guys go to essence.com and stay tuned for more details. But your girl's gonna be there. So
That is amazing. That is definitely amazing. It is divine timing, because what's really cool about this, again, you wrote this years ago. It was such a timeless song that it got traction again at the very last moment. You enter it into a contest, win the contest. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, that gives any artist out there, that gives you hope. That gives you hope. You can do this, man. So this is a really great story.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Since winning, what doors have that opened up for you?
Well, I've seen a lot more traction on my social media. I remember people like from literally outside the woodworks were like contacting me just to like perform different places. I recently had an interview with Swagger Magazine, so that was really dope. Shout out to my publicist Danielle; she was able to set that up, and yeah, like I've definitely seen a lot more. It gave me more credibility as an artist because a lot of people, they knew me like from performing at like SOBs. I performed at Circle of Sisters before the pandemic. But doing Essence, it definitely opened so many doors. Like I said, like the price went up.
Okay.
I've been booked for more gigs on my website. People have seen more of like the work that I've done, and like I said, it just solidified like my credibility. My credibility, like, yes, like you can do this, like you're legit. But I think outside of that, it definitely starts from within, like just believing that you have the gift and the purpose within you to do God's will, literally. And we all have our own designated time and season,
right,
to do what we're called to do. So, it may take some months, it may take years, it may take decades at some point, but nobody's an overnight success.
Right.
So it just accounts to, the 10,000 hours that I've put in, that I've continued to put in.
Right.
And, God will open even more doors as we speak. So from my lips to his ears.
Absolutely. Now, you shared the stage with artists such as Brian McKnight, Deborah Cox, and other people. Can you tell us about some of those monumental moments?
Yeah, so that all happened at Circle of Sisters. So
Okay.
yeah, I was the independent artist that performed on that stage, and then literally right after I got off the stage, Brian McKnight performed and Deborah Cox performed. So just seeing them was like, it was a dream come true. Just to even just to breathe the same air as Brian McKnight and Deborah Cox was just phenomenal.
Okay. How has COVID positively impacted you?
COVID has positively affected me in ways that I didn't even imagine. For example, right before the pandemic, I was working for a really big notable company, but through a contract, and I was debating whether I should stay there longer or not, because I was a call center agent, so it was affecting my voice literally. But I knew I had to go, because as much as the company was a great company. I just knew that that wasn't the right position for me
Mm-hmm.
at the time. So I decided to, part ways with them and then get into hospitality. And literally March 13th, that's when everything shut down. But something was telling me, like, you got to pivot, got to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed me to pivot. So COVID definitely allowed me to pivot, to really hone into my craft and really finesse my abilities. I remember I was on Fiverr and I got so many requests to do like intros and outros for podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
which were I didn't even realize was a thing. So yeah, people were hitting me up left. Literally, I feel like I was booked more for performances and like gigs during the pandemic than literally now. Like
Wow.
it's insane. It's insane. But because everybody was at home and still trying to figure things out. But everybody's outside now. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a little slower, but I think, the opportunities have still come. It's just now I've been more intentional about what I do and also where I devote my time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a interesting journey, but COVID has helped me tremendously. Like, I know a lot of people, unfortunately, like, suffered a lot of loss.
Mm-hmm.
But as an artist, for me, there were a lot of gains, and I'm extremely grateful for that.
It made me slow down a lot because I
Yeah,
was touring overseas heavy. And of course, naturally, we couldn't tour, we couldn't do anything. So it
yeah,
made me have to figure out what other strengths I had and slow down and hone in, on those other crafts and everything.
absolutely. Yeah, I definitely had to slow down because I remember before I was out and about, and I
Mhm.
remember hearing on the news like, yeah, you can't shake people's hands anymore. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
All of a sudden, here I am on Clubhouse, literally listening to, like, going into all the different rooms. Like, I remember Jermaine Dupri had a room, and he was
Mhm.
talking about like, just sharing all these different gems about starting So Def, and like
Right.
all these stories. So I feel like COVID for entertainers and like entrepreneurs, it like leveled the playing field.
Mhm.
You
I
were
do too.
able to, like, reach out to different people, and everybody was home, so I was like, yeah, like, they didn't have anything else to do. But it's like now, everybody's booked and busy, so
Right. What do you feel it takes to get into this business and to stand out amongst the crowd?
to stand out amongst the crowd, you definitely have to be authentic,
Mhm.
know who you are as an artist, and know what you stand for. Definitely for me, I stand for women's empowerment. I stand for true love, agape love. I stand for encouraging yourself. I'm a huge advocate for mental health,
Mhm.
and I also believe that it's not about like hopping on like the latest trend. It's about being your own trend
Mhm.
and being your own cheerleader. I know there's a lot of just talks about, like, with independent artists, like establishing yourself as a brand, but not a lot of people really understand like what goes into that. But it definitely requires having a lot of patience, being rooted, having your faith as a strong foundation. But yeah, just knowing who you are, because I know from like seeing other stories and hearing other stories, it's
Mhm.
like so many different people try to change you, and they try to like tell you like you should be doing this, or you should be singing that, or you should look a certain way or dress a certain way.
Right.
But I think as long as you like remain authentic to yourself,
Mhm.
that's what's gonna make you stand out, and that's what's gonna draw people to you and your unique story, because we all have our unique story to tell. Like, we're both singers, but we have totally different paths.
Right.
So I was also taught that there's certain people that are I think Tyler Perry said this, but like there are people who are attached to your gift.
Mm-hmm.
So
He did say that.
yeah, and it's like no matter what, like you don't have to please everybody. Like not everybody's gonna like your music. Not everybody's gonna understand the journey or understand the trials that have come with it. But
Mm.
as long as you're rooted in yourself and you are assured of who you are and you know the kind of music you want to put out and you're sure of yourself, that like that's all that matters.
Yep. Do you think social media is a gift or a curse for us?
Whew. I think that social media is a double-edged sword. It definitely has helped, especially as far as building communities
Mm-hmm.
and having access to people that I would have normally not have access to, and being able to have that platform to showcase my skills and my talents. But at the same time, sometimes it can be very overwhelming, especially nowadays where it's like everything's all about content. What you're gonna put out today, you should post like 5 times a day, and like it gets very
Yeah.
overwhelming. And
Yeah.
as a creative, you're always thinking about like the next thing, and sometimes like we don't really get enough time to like really bask in the opportunities that we've already accomplished.
Mm.
And social media, it sometimes like only gives us like a highlight reel of like all of the success, but we never get to show like the trials that like led us to those triumphs. So
Right. Right.
it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword, but it's all about like just managing the time, because social media can take a lot of time take a lot of time and effort. And I'm even learning that now, but just like prioritizing your mental health, because it can get draining. But I would definitely say that like following the right profiles helps, especially profiles that like always share like encouraging things, like whether it's quotes or
Mhm.
just like motivational things. Like I follow those profiles, not so much of like gossip and like
Right.
crazy news, because like energy is constant. So it's like whatever you are constantly like reading
Mhm.
is gonna consume you. It's gonna
Yeah.
become part of you. So you gotta definitely be aware of that, and just be disciplined and diligent with how you consume social media.
Mhm. Definitely. I am about to release my next single, and it is one of those. I just want to sing. I just want to be creative. You don't want to
Yeah,
have to do all of this advertising and having to keep put stuff. It is a lot. It is very overwhelming,
yeah,
especially when you're an indie, because typically when you're an indie, you're practically doing almost everything by yourself. I'm not gonna say everything, but you're doing
yeah,
almost everything by yourself, and you can't enjoy just that moment, of it being
yeah,
out, because you got to promote it on this site. You got to put it on Spotify. You got to put it, and you like, oh my God, can I just let the song breathe for a second? Can I bask in the glory of I did this? You know what I mean? But you
yeah,
got to work. You got to work to get it out there. So it's like, ugh, I'm getting my mind prepared mentally for
yeah.
it. So, what's your next project that you're working on, and how can people reach you?
Yeah, so the next project that I'm working on is a new EP entitled The Unlearning.
Hmm.
So the unlearning is all about just unlearning all the habits that I accumulated over the years, and also shifting my mindset, especially when it comes to my mental health, when it
Hmm.
comes to love, being a lot older now and having that wisdom. I'm able to see things differently,
Right.
see things from a different perspective. So yeah, I'm putting the finishing touches on the songs as we speak, and I'm working on releasing a new single within the next coming weeks. So you guys stay tuned for that. And you guys can find me on all streaming platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Audio Mac. I'm definitely on Audio Mac. I'll be releasing some stuff on Audio Mac exclusively before I release it on the other platforms. Also, Bandcamp. If you guys want to directly support me there, I really appreciate it because streaming is pennies of the dollar. So, and every penny counts. So Bandcamp definitely. I think Bandcamp Fridays is coming up. So if you go to bandcamp.com/Lynda Starr Music, you'll definitely find my music there and you can support directly. And yeah, I got some more shows coming up. I have like I said, new music dropping, but for some new listeners, some new ears today, definitely check out my EP, Recovery and Discovery, which is out right now.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank you so much for being a part of Transparency Talks podcast. I learned a whole lot and absolutely enjoyed your song. I'm going to finish listening to it after I hang up.
Yes, and I also have a song called That Melanin. I know it's Black History Month, so we gotta keep our melanin strong. I'm also doing like a That Melanin challenge just to encourage women to love the skin that they're in.
Love it.
So yeah, you guys check out Dat Melanin, DAT Melanin on all streaming platforms.
Okay. And with that, everybody, we are out of here and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.